How's it been?
Hey man, there ain't nothing changed. No, just like the standings, unlike the standings in the Western Conference.
Oh man.
Not
Um,
much changed over here, unlike the standings in the Western Conference.
yeah, no doubt. Before we get into too deep into the show, I want to remind y'all today is the day. Today is the day that we've been waiting for quite some time. We've had 32 debaters come up in the PCL and put forth their best. Now we've gotten ourselves down to the final four, the best four, and that's over today. Today at 6 p.m. Eastern, we got Chill versus Real Talk. Chill, how you feeling about that? You ready?
Let's do it, and don't let that. And a lot. I know a lot of y'all out there. Y'all seen Real Talk, and you see what type of debater he is with the melodic voice, and he could be a little boisterous sometimes. But I can tell you right now, Real Talk know what he's talking about. So I did my homework. I'm not flying blind here. No, I'm not. I'm prepared. 100%. I'm ready for him.
No doubt. After that, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, we have Mars versus Jordan. This will be an interesting matchup. I think they two guys with two different styles. Jordan's had a heck of a run. Mars had a heck of a run. Y'all know how Mars is coming, so y'all be ready for this. That's going to be fireworks. Good luck to all the debaters. After that, there's going to be episode 7 of the parlay between me and Ron. Caitlin Clark, is she the GOAT? Will she be the GOAT? Somebody got cooked in that, but we'll leave that up for y'all to decide. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all don't miss any of this stuff, man. But in the meantime, Chill.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you something, Chill. The New York Knicks, 0-9 against the top 3 teams in the NBA. Is that garbage, Chill? Is that, what does that say about their playoff hopes?
Well, it says they're going to make the playoffs. We'll start there. But when they eventually have to run into the better teams, they're a flawed roster. They're a flawed team. And they were put together to beat the Knicks. They were put together to beat the Celtics, but they haven't beaten them because the problem that they have with the Celtics is the same problem that they have with Oklahoma City and the exact same problem that they have with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They don't have enough offense. That's the biggest problem. Defensively, they can hold their own, but they aren't on par with both of these teams, both offensively and defensively, and specifically offensively. When I look at this Boston Celtic team, they get offense from a multitude of places. That includes their rotation guys. When you got 6, 7, 8 guys that could come off the bench, and Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard that can give you significant minutes and give you buckets, and you don't lose anything, as opposed to the New York Knicks, who don't really have nearly as much as that. And then on top of that, you got a long ball shooting team in the Boston Celtics who you can't stop them from doing that. Defensively, they have too much. The ball moves. You guys have way too many flaws in your defense, specifically with Cat and drop coverage. If you're going to play drop with Cat, they're just going to pick you apart. And if you try to step up, you got a primary ball handler in Jason Tatum who can just blow right by you and get the rim. That's one problem with them. And then you take in the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the best pick and pop offense and pick and dive offense in the league. So we want to put Cat in that action too. So the biggest problem, and I won't even mention Oklahoma City's offense, because Oklahoma City, for the most part, creates a lot of their offense with their defense. And because the Knicks are a flawed offensive team, you see what happens. I mean, I watched the Oklahoma City Thunder go into Madison Square Garden and smoke them by 30. Went in there and beat them. I'm not 30, I'm sorry. Beat them by 20. And in the process of doing that, they created a lot of their offense with their defense, sped the game up, speeding the game up, finishing at the rim, to the point where you can get guys almost played off the floor. Now, I can appreciate the Knicks being an upper echelon team, but when you're talking about the better teams in the league, Boston, Cleveland, Oklahoma City, they're extremely flawed in those areas.
Right, and I've seen here where also with the matchup with that Celtics team, it looks like Jason Tatum is killing Mikal Bridges.
Ox, I've said this to you in the past, and you as a ball player, I mean, you can appreciate this. If you kicked my ass here just because I got some new guys with me, what difference does that make? I mean, I've mentioned this in the past. Jason Tatum last season, when Mikal Bridges was on the Brooklyn Nets, he averaged 35 a game against them. You think because you got with a band of other guys that now that's going to change? I know you, and I know who you are. Jason Tatum does a great job in putting Mikal Bridges in spaces where he knows that he can score against them. At 6'9", I can get him in the mid range. I'm bigger than him. At 6'9", I can get him in the mid post. I'm bigger than him. I can score on him whenever I want. I can score. I'm one of the better catch and shoot long ball shooters in the game. My one-on-one game is pristine. I can get to the bucket on any and everybody when I want, and my finishing at the rim is elite. So with that being said, a guy like Mikal Bridges, who is one of the better defenders in the league, I'm just confident enough in my ability to get to the rim, not just get to the rim, to be productive and find other guys. Mikal Bridges is one of those players. As good as he is, he's better against smaller players. Like, he's had some success against Steph Curry. The problem is when he's going up against a bigger defender, a bigger offensive player in Jason Tatum, he's going to need help. And when he needs that help, Jason Tatum's ability to find other players, like whomever, OG Anunoby, whoever he's covering, Jason Tatum is able to find him, get him involved in the game, and find his man, Derek White, get him involved in the game.
But that's why I want to ask you there, Chill. How does he do against OG? When OG's guarding Jason Tatum, how was that?
Right. Now, that's a different scenario because OG is a little bit more physical. I was wrong in my assessment of OG and Mikal Bridges. To be honest with you, Ox, I didn't like the signing of OG earlier in the season off the strength that I thought that Mikal Bridges did a lot of what OG does. I didn't recognize, because OG had been in and out of the lineup as much as he had been in and out of the lineup, and he hadn't been as healthy. So I didn't recognize the physicality. Not only did I not recognize the physicality, I didn't recognize the versatility that he has as a defender. And he's able at 6'6", 6'7", to be a little bit more physical with Jason Tatum, to crowd Jason Tatum at the long ball line a little bit, to throw Jason Tatum off of his rhythm. Now, with Mikal Bridges being as wiry as he is, Jason Tatum can overpower him, which is what he's done a lot of times against him, which you would think that should be the matchup of getting OG Anunoby on Jason Tatum. The problem with that, Ox, is the Boston Celtics are so good at mismatch hunting because they screen so well that they're able to get OG Anunoby off Jason Tatum and get Mikal Bridges onto him, and he's now allowed to go after him. Now, what you would think that the Knicks would do is they would blitz a little bit more and get the ball out of Jason Tatum's hands. But because he's such a great passer, that doesn't really work.
Right. Well, Chill, we have a resident Knick fan in the building, and I actually would like to bring him up and kind of get his take on this, because as you know, for anybody that just got here, what me and Chill are up here talking about is the fact that the New York Knicks are 0-9 against the top 3 teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? They've lost to the Celtics 4 times. So let's hear what Cowboy Bob has to say about this.
What you up to,
Cowboy? What's going on, Cowboy? How you doing?
Same old. How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, you hot.
Yeah, loud and clear. For anybody that's just here, Cowboy was also a fellow PCL contestant.
I lost to the champ. I lost to the champ, so that's a good thing.
It happens.
Right on. What's up with your Knicks, Cowboy?
Hey, real quick. The thing is what I want to say. Did you see how we played against Boston?
I did see how you played against Boston.
Who was the X factor?
OG.
Really?
I thought
you didn't see Cat. You didn't see how Cat was doing his blow bys, how he was getting downhill, how he was being active, and he kept us in the game.
Well, remember who Cat is. Cat always has done that. Cat, this is the second year in a row Cat has led the league in charges. Cat always got downhill. He got downhill in Minnesota. He's getting downhill with the New York Knicks. That's his game. So that's not something when I see Cat doing that, I'm like, yo, Cat, no. That's always been Cat's game.
Okay, so the reason why I bring up Cat, I agree with you with OG. OG the last, let's say 10, 15 games, he's been scoring. And I think Bob, Big Ox, you was right about OG, man. That dude is a different animal. But when it comes to Cat, what I was saying was what his blow-bys, that's kickouts right there, because when you saw them collapsing on the defense, he can also pass to Brunson, who's a good three-point shooter. And I do agree with you that we don't have the actual offense on the bench. When we switch over, our bench is garbage, but we have the defense to stay up. But if we had, like, let's say a Dante or another three-point shooter, we would be good. But I really do agree with you in your assessment. The last game we played, it came down to one play to force into overtime. So for me, I think Cat, the way Cat can blow by the defenders, can shoot the three, and can pass out of that, that helps us out a lot. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
we're going to beat Boston. I'm just saying, I think it looks good, and especially because they only played 5 games with the full healthy roster. So
Right.
when you look at how we played Boston, that was the 5th time all year we had our top dogs all playing together. So you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that most people miss out on. So for
Yeah.
me, I think if we play Boston, it'll be about, maybe Boston in 6, but it's going to be a good series.
Yeah. I just feel like your offense, what it is, does that concern you? And when I say your offense, I mean overall. I don't just mean what's going on with your bench. I'm talking about your overall offense, because I feel like Cat can be countered by KP, because KP drags him away from the basket. KP can knock down the long ball, so that keep Cat honest. And because that keeps Cat honest, now you don't have the rim protection that's necessary to be able to block shots. Because Cat will block a shot. He might not be Mitchell Robinson at the rim, but he will block a shot. And to have a guy in the paint like that, I mean, that helps. But if you got KP dragging him away from the basket, if you got Al Horford dragging him away from the basket, I feel like the lane is open a lot more for Jason Tatum. The lane is open a lot more for Jaylen Brown, and who didn't play, by the way. The lane is open a lot more for those guys to get in that area. So I think that's where the biggest problem is with you guys in terms of your offense.
I think honestly our biggest problem is when we saw that Tatum was the only one on the court and they left Brown off. We knew Tatum was going to get the ball and we couldn't stop him. That's the only real problem that I think Boston has for any and everybody. When he's the main guy, good luck trying to stop him. But when you were talking about rim protection and everything, look at Rudy Gobert. Look at a lot of these guys who do rim protections. They get laughed at because the league has changed to long ball, 3-point competition. It's all about that, and you got long rebounds. And when you say that as well, you talk about rebounding. We have Josh Hart, who's our second best rebounder. So really, we could use Cat pushing out on KP, because now they also are at a disadvantage because KP's at the long ball. So it helps us out. Go ahead, Bob.
Cowboy. I hear you, and I mean all that makes sense, right? I'm just curious. I heard what you said about the Celtics. You said you probably won't beat them. Maybe Celtics in 6. If another team were to take care of the Celtics, because let me see, Cowboy, where are you guys? You guys are the 5.
Third. With
Third.
third.
So the third.
They're probably gonna be stuck in the 3rd spot. That's where they are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Because I'm thinking maybe if you are, but I don't know. So what about let's say y'all do. Is Boston the only team y'all worried about? Like, could y'all take care of the Cavaliers? Could y'all take care of them?
I think we can, because there's a thing about the Cavs that we didn't expect, and that was how their 4 grew. Their main 4 has grown really, really well with Mobley, what's his name? Mobley, Mitchell,
Jared
and as
Allen,
well as Jared Allen, and also even Garland. Like if you look at Garland, like he's been consistent. Garland always had moments of being good, but he's been consistent for the whole season. So when it comes to Cleveland, all I feel we have to do is really just put pressure on the other 3, and we're good. Let Mitchell get 50 or 60 like we did last year. And I mean, not last year, last time we played him and beat him in 5. And it won't affect them because I think our defense can match up with them. And I've also noticed that Allen also does a lot of fouling that he gets away with when it comes to blocks. So there's a lot of things that we're going to see that the Cavs' flaws that they have are going to be exposed, because the Cavs are good. But I think it'll be a game 6, game 7, old style basketball, relying on defense. But I really think the Knicks can take the Cavs. And I think the pressure has to come from OG on Mobley. Actually Cat taking Allen out of the game by actually attacking him with his downhill game. And then Brunson with Garland, I think there's no answer. And we all know Brunson can take Garland. But
I just think your defense against their offense is better than your defense, and not just from their first 5 players, but also they got 9 guys. You got 6, and I don't think that 6, maybe 7 guys. You don't really get that much offense from Precious Achiuwa. They get much more offense coming off the bench from their guys. In the process of them getting much more offense from their other guys, that leaves you gassing with 6 guys, because you know how Tibbs is when it comes to guys off the bench. You got to do something. You got to do something now. And if you don't do something, he's benching you, and he's going with his starters. So if you're going to be in a series with the Cleveland Cavaliers, those rotation guys have to be better, and they haven't been. And I think that with the Cavs offense, with both Mobley being the pick and dive and pick and pop guy, and the one-on-one player that he is, I think that's improved tremendously. He's much more physical than he was in the past. Same logic with Jared Allen. I think these guys are much more physical. On top of that, Donovan Mitchell for all intents purposes, has been their guy. And with him being their guy, I feel like there's a redemption that they're looking for. Because y'all roughed them up the last time y'all saw them. Y'all straight pushed them around. And I think that they're looking to, for lack of a better term, get their lick back against y'all. Like, they can't rough us up again like that. No, they can't.
But
yeah,
then
but
again,
see,
Cameron
chill,
Payne.
you don't chill. Do you even got the Knicks getting out the first round against that number 3 seed Detroit Pistons?
That's the problem that I'm having. I do think that they beat Detroit, but I think that they beat Detroit in a 6-7 game dog fight.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I think that's a dog fight. I don't think that that's the Knicks handling them in 5 or 6 games comfortably. No, I think that Detroit's going to junk up the series. I think that Detroit is going to push them. I think Detroit is going to be a lot more physical with them. I think they're going to make the Knicks guard at the long ball line with Beasley and Tim Hardaway. I think they're going to create a lot more space with Cade Cunningham now being healthy and being able to get downhill. And on top of that, I feel like Isaiah Stewart is a big key in this, because you talked about Cat getting downhill. That's going to be tough against Isaiah Stewart. He's going to have to deal. Cat's going to have to deal with him. 100%. He's going to have to deal with him.
And Duran and Isaiah. To me, I think that they're a smaller version of on the Cavs. The way that they use Allen and the way that they use your boy Mobley. I think that Stewart and Durham is the same type of setup. We can win, but the problem is when you look at it, it's all based on how Durham plays. I think that that's what's going to happen. Like, Durham's going to be that physical big to attack Cat, and it's going to wear and tear on him to where he's going to rely on the long ball more. But when you look at the overall game, to me, I only think their X factor is Cade, because a lot of those guys they have can get cold. But if Cade is hot with passing, he gets through the screens, he gets to the free throw line. He does that. I see it being a dogfight, and I agree with you. But the most craziest thing is everyone's talking about how good Durham is, but no one's really talking about Stewart. I think Stewart stepped up his game to where his on-ball pressure, his physicality is going to be good enough for OG. But the real question mark for us is Bridges. What is Bridges going to do? That's why I think that Boston can beat us. I think the Cavs can give us a handle, and I even think Detroit can win 2 games from us. It's because what is Bridges going to give us? Is he going to give us that defense where it's good and then give us 22 points, 23 points? Or is he just going to be subpar? That's the only difference. But thanks for having me, guys. I know you got like
absolutely, big up. Absolutely, brother. Good to talk to you.
And we're gonna talk about that Franz next time, man. There's a reason why I did that. That's why I did that. But I'll give y'all time.
Yeah. Next time we definitely need to hear what you was coming with.
I'm glad that hat is back too. By the way,
New York, go.
Glad that hat is back.
Hey, yo, check this out. Look at this. And it's blue on the inside.
Oh, so the New York Knicks blue. I see it. I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing. Y'all have a good one.
Be easy, yo.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, chill. That's gonna be interesting. The East, while this episode is about the Wild Wild West, the East is also interesting. Chill.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you got to look at that matchup. Neither one of us can guarantee that the Knicks come out of that alive.
No,
you know what I mean? And I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to call this 4 and 5 matchup either. This what do you
Indiana and Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Indiana,
I can't
Milwaukee.
call that one. I can't call it. Chill. I mean, do you care to give your input on that? Who's coming out of that 4 or 5 matchup? Because
it's always tough, Ox, when you're in the same division, because you see each other so much. And both Indiana, Cleveland, and Detroit, they all in the same division. And this Indiana team, which they've seen Milwaukee as much as they've seen them, Giannis gets busy against them. But one of the main reasons why they are successful against Indiana, Dame is if Dame is available, but Dame has not been available. So that's offense that they don't have, right? So now they got to supplement that offense more with defense, right? Even with Giannis being the ball handler that he is. I think Giannis is averaging a triple-double almost over the last 3 or 4 games, averaging over 10 assists a game. But they're going to need, once the playoffs start, they're going to need AJ Green. They're going to need Taurean Prince. They're going to need these guys to knock. What you're doing now is not going to be enough. Excuse me, Ox. What you're doing now is not going to be enough. We're going to need you to knock down more shots, right? Because what's going to happen is the Indiana Pacers, they're going to speed the game up. They're going to make the game faster. That's what makes them as good as they are. And with Neesmith being healthy, with Nembhard being healthy, with them speeding the game up, also with their defense, that also slows down Milwaukee offensively. And the way that Milwaukee guards at the long ball line is a huge problem. A huge problem. I could see them losing off the strength of that right there, Ox. I can see Milwaukee getting beat just off the strength of them not being able to guard at the long ball line. I'm not even talking about being able to get downhill, because Brook Lopez, even though he's slower and the best days of Brook Lopez are behind us, he can still guard at the rim. He's still one of the better rim protectors in the game. I won't argue that. However, the idea is to go after him, get him in switches, drag him out to the deep water, as Isaiah Thomas would say, drag him out to the deep water and drown him. So when we're doing that, now that opens up the lane even more for guys like Halliburton to get to the rim, for guys like Nembhard, who's one of the better drivers in the game, or one of the better drivers on that Indiana Pacers team. I could see a world where Indiana could beat them. But Giannis is so damn good. And if Giannis is healthy, what it's going to take for him to throw this unit on his back and win a playoff series, it might be too much.
Right. And that's and that's what I was going to get to, because obviously there's no Dame, no Dame. And, that's really unfortunate, just in the situation with the window was already shutting. You know what I'm saying? It's already closing. And for this to happen at this time too, that's extremely unfortunate. And I really feel bad for that situation, but that's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And with that being said, I want to know, what level of carryability does Giannis Antetokounmpo still have? There's no he can't win a championship without that. No, I think that's completely off the table. But can he get out of this first round? I need to see Giannis get out of this first round. I need to see him beat these Pacers. I want to know, is Giannis that good? I believe he is. I think he can take this Pacers team down.
Ox, am I asking too much? You, as the best player in the world, arguably the second best player in the world, am I asking too much for you to win me a playoff series? Am I asking that? Is that asking too much? I mean, I want you to be honest with me, because winning especially in the playoffs is a lot. Winning in the playoffs is a big deal. But the best players, I've seen them, as good as they are, I've seen them be able to give me a game, give me 2 games, and the rest of those guys can come in and help. But for the majority of it, my big guy, my best player, can I count on him to win me a playoff series, especially early in the playoffs? Don't get me wrong, guys. When we get to the East Finals, when we get to the NBA Finals, we're going up against better teams. We're going up against better players. Schemes are a lot different. So what I got away with in the first round, I'm probably not going to be able to get away with that in the semifinals or the East Finals or the NBA Finals. But in the first round of the playoffs, can I get it? Can I get my best player, who is arguably the best player in the world in Giannis? Can I get him to throw us on his back and give me a game, give me 2 games? Because I've seen Jimmy Butler do it. I've seen Jimmy Butler do it, right? I've seen Jimmy Butler take over a playoff series. He was that good. Am I asking too much to ask Giannis to do that, or are we past that? I don't think we passed that, honestly.
So I need 3 unquestionably dominant performances from Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I need the other guys to come through and get that 4th one. I need that from Giannis in this one, and then after that, I'm not saying beat the Cavaliers, but Giannis, you got to make sure that they know you came through.
Is it ridiculous for me to think, because as a former ball player, I see my best player doing what he's doing. If he gives me a game, if he gives me 2 games, my mentality is, we got to get on his page. We could get a game for him. We could get a game. He doesn't have to do all of this, even though he is our guy and he's throwing us on his back and he's going to take us as far as he can take us. I'm thinking, as a former ball player, we got to get on this dude page and get and help him get a game. We have to be able to do that.
Been plenty of times where you're on the court and maybe you never know who it is. Might be a shooter come out. For me, it was a lot of times would be the point guard. He come through and he's giving it. He's come on, y'all. Come on. And I'm with you. Come on, let's ride. You can ride with me. Let's go. I'm coming with you. And I need somebody, whoever it is, because Bobby's going to be back. I'm not sure. I'm sure
he's already back. He's already back. He's already back.
Yeah, I know he's back. I'm just saying. I'm sure he's in shape. I'm sure he's still ready to go. You know what I mean? Kuz jumped on with Bron before. Bron and AD. Kuz got it in him. Yeah, I like to think KPJ can come through for some games. I need Giannis Antetokounmpo to prove it. I mean, Giannis already got one. Giannis has proven a lot. You've seen what he did on that knee. You remember he had that hyperextension and came through. I think he still got it in him though, y'all. Yeah. I really do. I want to see it. This could be a really good run for Giannis. I think he needs this one.
And to bring up, to double back to the Detroit Pistons, that's going to be the playoffs for Milwaukee to find out where they're going to be. They play them tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
These are the last two. Not tomorrow night. I'm sorry. They play them this weekend. They play the Detroit Pistons. That's going to determine whether they got to go to New York for the first round or whether they got to see Indiana. And it's that first game, and I'm definitely going to be tuned in to that one, both against Milwaukee and Detroit. That's going to be a huge game for them. Huge.
Right. Well, that's what's going on out east.
Mm-hmm.
But as y'all know, this episode is about the Wild Wild West.
Literally.
Chill. I'm talking about 3 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
The third seed to the 8th seed is decided right now. It's 2.5 games apart.
That just
the
doesn't
3 seed Lakers. So let's talk about Denver. So the 4 to 8 really. Let's talk about the 4 to 8. So that's the Denver Nuggets, LA Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, and Minnesota Timberwolves are all decided by 1.5 games. Where the Minnesota Timberwolves are 46-33, and the Denver Nuggets are 48-32.
So I can literally go from hosting a playoff series to fighting for my playoff life and quite possibly not making the playoffs. Is that what can happen? Days, like this isn't like over the course of a month where I have some sort of wiggle room. No, this is a matter of days. From today, which is Thursday, to Sunday, I could go from hosting a playoff series to now I got to get on a plane and I got to go to Memphis. I got to go to Golden State and win a game so I could get in the playoffs, as opposed to losing that game. Now I'm in an elimination game, which is even worse. I think that a lot of these teams that we're talking about, Denver, the Clippers, Memphis, Golden State, Minnesota, I think one of the things that they all have in common is that their offense has been really good. Like Denver, first of all, Denver got the best player in the world. They got the most versatile player offensively in the world. The Clippers, Leonard looked like he turned the clock back and he jumped in the fountain of youth. And that condition that was going on, it doesn't look like it's bothering him at all, which is great. Memphis plays with one of the fastest paces in the game. I think they're right outside the top 5 in the league in offense, which is fantastic. I already said to you earlier today, Ox, when I'm watching Golden State, when they played against the Lakers, I got new information, and these dudes got my wheels turning like, yo, can these dudes do it again? Can they do it again?
They do that. They do that, and then drop one like they dropped last night against the Spurs.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky.
You know what I mean? That shakes up everything. Harrison Barnes hits that shot, and that switches up things right there in the rankings alone.
Yes, that throws a monkey wrench in what's going on, because now they find themselves back in the play-in tournament, which is where they don't want to be. The Golden State Warriors do not want to be in the play-in tournament, off the strength that they, like the Lakers, have an older team. We already know that. They got an older team, and with them having an older team, they could use the rest. Curry, Draymond, Jimmy Butler. They could use the rest. No doubt about that. So we don't want to be in a position where not only are we in the play-in tournament, we could possibly get bounced, because we haven't fared well in the play-in tournament. And the team that's in the play-in tournament that I feel like is riding high, that's Minnesota. Minnesota gave that game away to Milwaukee a couple of nights ago. So the way that in tonight's game, it's going to be huge when they play against Memphis, right?
Where's that game?
I think that game is in Memphis.
In Memphis tonight? Okay.
Yeah, I think that game is in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. And so I got Denver at 4, the Clippers at 5, Memphis at 6, Golden State at 7, Minnesota at 8. Now, Minnesota, if they end up beating the Grizzlies tonight, which I think that they will, if they end up beating them tonight, that means Golden State moves up to 6. With Golden State moving up to 6, Minnesota moves up to 7, and Memphis goes from being in the playoffs, Ox. They go from being in the playoffs and having a week off to now dropping to the 8th spot, where they got to go on the road for a playing game. That's what we're looking at right now for this Memphis Grizzlies team. And this is the same Memphis Grizzlies team that fired their coach. I know this sounds crazy as hell, Ox. This is the same Memphis Grizzlies team that fired their head coach 2 weeks before the season is over, right? Fired their head coach 2 weeks before the season is over, and they're still trying to figure out lineups. They're still trying to figure out play style, which is kind of similar to what they were doing, but they're still trying to figure it out with the new voice that they had. Even though he was on the roster, the new voice that they have. So this is a huge adjustment for them, and this is a big time game for Minnesota tonight against Memphis.
I think Minnesota's going to take care of business. If they do, I think it's a more favorable matchup for some of the other teams. Like I've already mentioned, I think we could beat Memphis in that playing game.
Yeah.
Dallas could beat Memphis in that playing game. You know, so
Ox, am I ridiculous to think, considering how Memphis is kind of backing into the playoffs and the play-in? Am I ridiculous to think that if Memphis ends up in the play-in tournament and they lose, why wouldn't Sacramento, if you guys end up beating Dallas, why wouldn't you be high on beating Memphis? Like, why wouldn't you think that? There's no reason to think that you can't beat them dudes.
No reason at all. I think we should beat them. Last week I guaranteed Memphis wasn't going to make the playoffs.
You did say that. Yes, you did. You said that last week. I had Memphis, and I'm wrong for this. I had Memphis as a top 3 seed, and it was working for a little while, and then the bottom just fell out. The bottom just fell out. I had the Clippers and the Warriors missing the playoffs. I had Memphis as a top 3 seed. I had Denver in the 4th spot. I had the Lakers in the play-in too, because I felt like the Lakers were more of a playoff ready team, and they were going to rest their guys a lot more throughout the course of the regular season. Rest LeBron. I didn't think that Luka would be there. I was thinking about Anthony Davis. No, I didn't think Luka would be there. I don't think any of us thought that Luka would be there. But I thought that they were going to rest James. In the process of resting James, they might drop some games, but they would be good enough to make it into the playoffs. And once the playoffs started, that defense would ramp up. Not only would that defense ramp up, that offense would be even better. But instead, they completely did a 180, and they played throughout the course of the regular season, got themselves a top 3 seed. At worst, they the 6th seed. At worst, they don't have to worry about playing in the play-in tournament. At worst, they already beat Dallas yesterday. They got, I think, 2 games left after. I think they got 2 or 3 games left. At worst, they're a play-in. At worst, they're a 6th seed, so they don't have to worry about that. Which I'm sure James is welcoming. You know, as an older guy, that rest. I'm sure he is.
Definitely. I'm sure he would be. I see we got a couple people in the lobby. Before we get to that, I want to remind everybody that if you're here after this show, don't go too far. Do not go too far. You're going to have to get right back here very soon for the PCL March Madness Final Four. That is today, 6 p.m. Eastern. Chill versus Real Talk. They will kick it off. That's going to be an epic battle. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Mars and Jordan. Mars, the defending champ, will be taking on Jordan. I am looking forward to these, and I know you guys are too. So don't miss it. Make sure you're there. And I'll see you there, because I'm definitely going to be there. Chill, obviously, you'll be there. Y'all make sure to come back for that. PCL going down. We had 32 of the best debaters, and now there's only the final 4. So y'all make sure to get back for that. Shout out to those guys. Let's see, who do we got back here? My man. Yo, Classic, what's up?
What up?
You're on mute.
Can't hear you, brother.
Okay. Yeah. We'll come back to Classic. Who's this? SGA Sports Talk.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's my first time calling to the show, man. I'm a big fan of you on playback. Atrocious game yesterday by Golden State. They lost to San Antonio. Lost to the San Antonio Spurs 114 to 111 on a game-winning 3-pointer by Harrison Barnes, former Warrior. That was tough. When we dropped to number 7, the 7th seed, we looks like we're gonna be going to the play facing off whoever we looks like we're gonna be in the play-in tournament. And that's not going to be a good sign for the Warriors, because if we lose that game, I mean, how many games do they play in the play-in tournament? 1 game or 2 games?
So the 7-8 seed, the winner of the 7-8 seed gets the 7th spot. The 8 seed, which is the loser, you got to play the 9-10 winner in order to get into the playoffs for the 8th spot.
I mean, so we have to win. We have to win both of these 2 games: the Portland game in Portland and the Clippers game in San Francisco. We got to win both of those games to avoid the play-in tournament. We got to win both of those games. Those games are crucial. Those are crucial games the Warriors have to win. They have to. If
Mhm.
they lose those games, they're screwed. Like there's no way around it. What are
Nope.
your thoughts about that? Like,
I
what are your
do.
thoughts of it?
My biggest issue with the Warriors is the fact that they're not very good in the play-in tournament. That's my biggest issue with them is they have not been since the inception of the play-in tournament, which is 2021. How many wins you guys have in the play-in tournament? You have not won in the play-in tournament. So
And when
the,
and when Harrison Barnes hit that game-winning three, Jokic did the same exact thing to us. When we played the Nuggets, he hit that buzzer beater game-winning three. They beat us 130 to 127. I believe that was back in 2024 when we played the
yeah,
Nuggets.
that
He did
happened.
the same exact thing that Harrison Barnes did to us.
Hey man, listen.
Like I like that guy Jokic, and like
The last
they
two
did
games
that.
that you guys have, are winnable games. You cannot drop this game to Portland. You have to beat the Trailblazers. That's number
Yep.
one. Number two, the Clippers have just as much to play for as you guys do. So that's not like that's a game that's just like the Clippers are chilling. No. And I like you guys in that game. And I like you guys in that game off the strength that Jimmy Butler can put so much pressure on the Clippers defense that could be a plus for you guys. But you cannot drop both of these games because there's too much at stake in this particular situation. And I don't want you guys in the playing game because I don't want you guys in the playing tournament. I don't.
I mean, in
we
that
got to keep it moving, brother. We do got a full lobby. I appreciate
it's
you for finally
it's
calling
great
in.
coming. It's great coming on the show.
No
Thanks for
doubt.
having me on. Steph
Of
Curry,
course.
Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green combined for 71 points. But they still could not contain Stephon Castle,
Right,
and
right.
Devin
We
Vassell and
got
Barnes.
it going, though, brother. Thanks for
Good talk
And
to
calling
you,
in.
thanks for having
brother.
me on the
Good to
show.
talk to
Definitely
you,
call
brother.
in next time.
Absolutely.
I really love everything you
Absolutely.
do
Good to talk to you.
on here on playback.
Absolutely, brother. No
Right
doubt.
on,
Good
right
to talk
on.
See
to
you
you, brother.
later.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Man, so I mean, that's a fact though. The Warriors cannot. I don't want them in the playing tournament. I don't think they want to be there.
Oh, so we
So
can't lose to Portland. Before we even get to the
no way.
Clippers, we got to deal with the Trailblazers. We have
I
to
mean,
deal
but
with
how great would that be though, Chill? How great would
Throw a
that
monkey
be?
wrench in
The
our-
Spurs and the Trailblazers just messing everything up right at
Throw
the end of the
throw a monkey
season.
wrench
That's
in our-
beautiful. You can't write it any better than that, right?
Just walk over. Just the car running and the engine is running good. Just walk over to it, then look around, open up the hood, and just put a monkey wrench right in there. Like let's throw a monkey wrench right in there.
Everything, man. Real quick, we got a super chat from Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart says, "Is Kawhi seeming like he lost a half step? Most likely the new normal, permanent, or is he still getting into form?"
He looks like there's flashes of it. Where, like yesterday, prime example, when I see him get downhill and he's dunking on guys, he's getting to the rim, getting by guys, him slamming on the brakes, him getting to his spots. He looks like I still get flashes of that. The question is how sustainable is it? That's my question. How sustainable is it? Can he keep doing this? If he can keep doing it, I gotta eat crow. I do. I'm gonna have to eat crow.
Yeah. Well, Teddy Hart is actually in the lobby. Let's see what Teddy Hart feels about that. What's up, Teddy?
What up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What up?
Not
Hey,
much.
so I just wanted to say real quick, just excited for this first round to get started. Looking forward to the Pistons, Knicks, and then Pacers and Bucks. Probably over any other matchup. As y'all probably know by now, I'm an OKC homer, right? That's my team. So I'm not really worried about them. What are the chances that Dame is going to be able to come back from them blood clots? Is he done?
He's shelled for the season. He's shelled for the season. I don't think that they're going to risk it. Nope. I think he's shelled for the season.
Yeah.
Even if they were interested in moving off of him, even if they were interested in moving, they wouldn't risk putting him on the floor for something else to happen, which would completely destroy his value. No,
because he has a different situation than Vic, right?
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
and with Dame, it's not going to get any worse. I mean, the same logic with Vic. It's not going to get any worse, and it didn't travel anywhere. They got it. They were able to catch it, and it's not a big deal. But you don't want to play around with blood clots. You don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah. But no, I ain't gonna keep y'all long, man. That's all I had. But no, just good to talk to y'all, man.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, yo.
All right, Teddy, appreciate you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so chill.
Mhm.
We got some footage, right? And basically, you know, we can't pull that up, but basically we have Nikola Jokic saying, well, ownership came down, said they were making a move, said it wasn't really a conversation, it was a decision. Pretty much like, hey, that's how it happens. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a player's place, like Jokic place to maybe go to bat for a coach, or what do you think about that?
Ox, we live in a place now where everybody thinks that their opinion matters in everything. Just so you know, there is a hierarchy, and with it being a hierarchy, there are some things that are over my head that have
Right.
nothing to do with me. And Joker, being the player that he is, even though he's making the amount of money he's making, he still recognizes, that's not. I don't work in that department. That's not where I work. I'm a player. I don't make those decisions. Now they might ask me how I feel about something and what do you feel about this guy? They'll consult with me, but ultimately when decisions are made, they tell me they tell me what they're doing, which goes back to what you and I had the conversation, Ox, that you and I had about Sabonis. And we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a conversation. What are we doing? That's what I want to know. It's not necessarily so much as you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Even though I have developed that sort of cachet, I do want to know what we're doing. And I feel like Joker is in a space where he recognizes, listen, I don't work in that department. That's what they do.
Right.
They inform me of it. Now, if it's something that I disagree with and it's something that I wasn't really feeling, but they're just going to keep dumping players or something like that, then I can have a say. So like, wait a minute, I don't know if we should do this. Wait a minute, I don't know if we should do that. I might consider doing something different. If you do this, that's something different than, you fired the head coach. Okay, I'm going to let you handle that. And I'm gonna keep doing my job. That's above my pay grade.
Yes, that's not my job description. You know what I
It's
mean?
not,
So,
yo.
I mean, I respect that he came out and he was open about it. You know, he was willing to discuss it a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what people expected though. You know,
I think that they
I mean, I know
expected.
there's some dope were made, but
Well, remember where we live, Ox. We live in an era of player empowerment. We live in the era where players have the most say. So we, as people that expect Joker to go, yo, you ain't firing my coach. I ain't trying to hear that. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, there's some things that are above my pay grade. There are some things that are above my head that I don't want to get involved in. Not everything, but some things. And we can handle that in the offseason. Like I think Joker is going to handle that. I think that during these exit meetings, if they don't win the NBA championship, what's the direction that we're going in? Because if it's not something that he's interested in, Ox, very much like Sabonis, if it's not something that he's interested in, I may have to look into moving somewhere else. I may have to look into that.
yeah. Well, I hope for all Denver fans that they get it together because that's the last thing they would want. In the meantime, let's get back to the lobby. We got Classic. What's up, Classic?
What up?
Yo, what up? What up, guys?
What up? What up?
What up? What up? Yeah, man, this West race is getting crazy, and I love it. I actually love the players now because now all the games matter now, and I wish it was like that in the East too. But the East has already got their stuff figured out. But I've been rooting for Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, and they let me down, man. That loss to the Bucks, man, that hurt my soul right there. To be up that much, and then to let them come back and win like that. And then your Kings let me down last night, man. I was so pissed off watching y'all last night, man. DeMar DeRozan, bro, he kept shooting these shots and missing. I'm like, damn, bro, you're not gonna pass. And then Sabonis, I don't see how you root for Sabonis. Like all these dribble handoffs, bro. Like people don't want to do that shit, and he keep trying to do that, man. The dude,
That's the offense. What do you mean? Like,
100% Classic. They do that. They do
that's
that in
the
Denver. That's how they run. That's how they run the
don't
offense
do
through
that.
Denver. In Denver with
Okay,
Joker.
But that's not. But you said how you root for DeMontis. They doing all these dribble handoffs. They don't want to do that. You think DeMontis Sabonis is telling them no? We're doing dribble handoffs.
Well, I mean, that's what it looked like. He keep doing dribble handoffs and they not shooting. They keep
How could
taking dribbles.
that be what it look like? He's not creating the offense. That's the motion they run.
But no, okay. So my thing is, if you gonna do a dribble handoff, why aren't they shooting immediately after they get the ball? Like, why do they keep on dribbling and just wasting extra time?
Well,
I don't know. That don't got nothing to do with DeMontis.
That has nothing to do with
because off. Like, go try to catch an alley-oop or something. Like, I don't understand why he's on the court. And the guys can shoot. Like, Keon Ellis made some big threes. What's number 41? Trey Lyles?
Trey Lyles, yeah.
Yeah, he was making some big shots. And Zach LaVine can make some great shots. But them guys don't just want to catch off the dribble handoffs. So if they don't want to do that, like, go find something else to do. I feel like they was on a run
that's just pure speculation. Now, when you kicking facts and talking about the game, I'm all with you. But this is pure speculation. I can't get behind that.
So you like all the dribble handoffs they do?
I do.
That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what I like. I'm talking about what they run. I don't have any control of that.
Okay, maybe because Keegan Murray didn't play last night, did he?
No, Keegan didn't play, and Malik's been in and out of the lineup for the past couple months.
Okay, because I don't watch y'all like that, but are they the shooters with Sabonis when he be doing all the dribble handoffs? Because I don't see the purpose of doing it if the guys aren't gonna shoot.
That's in fact, Classic. That's why they built that. They built that offense around both De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis' skill set. And Sabonis is one of the better passing bigs in the game, particularly with dribble handoff. He's one of the better passers in the game. He's really good decision maker in that aspect. So yeah, I don't see why they would stop doing it. No, can't go away from that. No way.
Yeah, I just don't see y'all making any noise in the playoffs, man. With the way y'all playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario. I mean, well, not best. Yeah, best case scenario is that we catch OKC in the first round. I don't think anybody's excited for that. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that's we're the 9 seed, it's not possible for us to get the 7 seed, which would be great because we'll beat the dog out of them young boys in Houston. But but you know, we're not. That's not going to happen. So I mean, best case scenario is we got to play the best team in the league first round of the playoffs. You know, so I don't think anybody expects us to make noise. You know.
And then just one more thing. I think, man, I'm scared of the Nuggets now because, you know, they fired their coach. And you know how I feel about firing coaches, man. And when you start bringing that new energy to the locker room, them guys get a spark. I think Denver might can go on a run. So I would watch out for that.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So how do you like their chances? If it was how it is now, I believe they would have the Clippers first round. You got them beating the Clippers?
Honestly, I mean, I do. Jokic, you heard him after the interview talk about awaken the beast and stuff. I ain't never really heard him talk like that. And like I said, if they would have had Mike Malone with the way they were going, I would have felt good about the Clippers beating them. But now, like I said, I don't know, man.
You got to remember who you're dealing with, though, Classics. You do have to remember who you're dealing with. It's very much like what KD said when he was with the Warriors. You know me. I'm Kevin Durant. So despite what's going on with the coaches and how they playing and what their record is, and people talking about they're not going to be very good in the playoffs and they're vulnerable, I am Joker. Let's not act like you don't know who I am. I am Joker. I'm the best player in the world. So don't be surprised if it gets turned on and the beast is awakened. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, if they go on a run, man, it ain't no coach safe because everybody gonna start doing that now.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah,
no way.
I'm just ready for
I don't understand why you having such a difficult time with this. With Luka getting traded, everything is on the table, and all we'll do is we'll justify it. When Luka got traded, that's why we fired our coach.
That's not the same thing as what Classic just said. Y'all, what y'all are trying to sell me is that teams that are going to be kind of having, you know, might be on a little slump in late March, early April, are just going to be like, you know what? Fire the coach. That's gonna light a fire in everybody's ass. We're gonna go on a playoff run. That is insane. That is clinically insane. That is, you will be marked 51-50. You cannot do that.
7:30.
You cannot do that.
It wouldn't even surprise me if the Heat fired Eric Spoelstra like the day of their first game of the playoffs.
Yo, Classic. We already talked about this, bro. Stop saying that, bro. Eric Spoelstra is not getting fired. As long as Pat Riley's around, Eric Spoelstra is safe.
As long as Pat Riley is around, he's not getting fired. So good to talk to you, Classic.
Alert, man. But yeah, you guys have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Sure, you heard what he just said? He said, I can't wait to get that alert.
Hey, Ox. We just yesterday, we in the middle of it, and Mike Malone just got fired. Is it ridiculous to think that over the course of the summer, Yo, the Miami Heat are moving on from Eric Spoelstra. Is it ridiculous to think that
Well,
could happen?
okay, so this is the thing. I spoke a little fast. I said as long as Pat Riley's there, Eric Spoelstra is safe. I don't necessarily believe that. I've never thought that just any player's untradeable. I've never thought that. Before Luka got traded, so when Luka got traded, I wasn't completely shocked. On top of that, I think very highly of Anthony Davis. Yeah, they probably should have figured out a way to get a couple more draft picks, 100%, especially with the age thing, right? But I don't think any coach should be safe or is just safe. But I don't think people like Eric Spoelstra are in those talks right now.
Of the safest coaches in the league, Eric Spoelstra probably is the safest.
Right. And he could get there. He could get there for sure. I don't think he's there now. What happened with Michael Malone, I wouldn't expect that. I was shocked, but I don't think anybody's untouchable. Like for them to do, if you told me that Mike Malone was going to be fired, I would be like, okay, if the Nuggets lose in the first round against the Clippers, I could see them having those talks. But to do it right there, right now in April, before he even had a shot at another playoff run, yeah, I'm completely shocked by that. That's insane to me. If for you and Classic to try to sell me that teams are going to start doing this, no,
it's the Luka effect. It's the cause and effect. I'm giving you it on the rack right now, Ox. It's the Luka effect. That's what it's going to be. Luka threw a monkey wrench and everything.
Wow. Well, that would be a crazy thing to start happening in the NBA, and I sure hope it doesn't happen. Hey guys,
we already seen it twice. We already seen it twice in a month. So
yeah, Taylor, that's crazy. This is insane. Well, I don't know if I thought Taylor was as safe as Mike though. Like, but still for it to happen at this time though is crazy.
Right.
Before we get out of here, y'all, I have to remind y'all again, just for those that just got here, be sure that when we end this stream, which we are going to be doing here in a few moments, make sure that when you leave, you come back quick. Go get some snacks, get some popcorn, get some chips, whatever you do. Get some fruit. A fruit bowl, that's a great game time snack. Be sure because the fireworks are about to go off here at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can catch Chill versus Real Talk in the Final Four of the PCL. After that, the defending champ, Mars, will be taking on Jordan. Y'all get back here quick. Don't want to miss this. It's going down. The PCL is coming to a quick end, somewhat like the NBA season. Chill, how do you feel about this PCL as compared to last season? Last season, remember we did the round robin tournament, then went to bracket play. We did groups. This season was just straight March Madness bracket play. Tell me, Chill, which one do you prefer, and how did you feel about that year compared to this year?
I think we got enhanced this year because one, we have more debaters, and with the brackets, I think the best team, the best debaters, they get to see the best debaters. You could get an upset in the first round. You could get all the number one seeds get straight to the final. So, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I like the way this is set up. I do. I like the way that this is set up because I feel like the competition that you see, you have to be prepared for them because there's no cakewalks, none whatsoever. I mean, last season I was fortunate that I got to the semifinals because OG the Beast, he ended up having to bow out. He has something going on with him. So I got a forfeit there. Now we're in a situation where, I mean, that's not going on. Like you got to stand up, and I had to stand up, and I had to go up against everybody. And I feel like I've gotten better as the PCL is going on. Like I said, I went up against a number 16 seed, and I thought I was going to blow him out, but I ended up pulling away late, and then I started getting it together as time went on. So I feel like I'm running good. I do. I feel like I'm running good.
I really do enjoy this PCL. It's cool. I can't wait for the next season. Make sure that y'all tap into the remainder of this season, and y'all stay tapped in for the next season, the season after that. Because I can guarantee you the PCL is just getting started. Y'all keep your eyes open and stay ready. After the PCL too, we got another thing dropping. Me and Ron had a debate about is Caitlin Clark the GOAT? Who is the GOAT in the WNBA? Y'all don't want to miss that either. So make sure y'all tap into that. We got a lot of things going on, y'all. Just stay tuned. It is Well, it's 2 here. It's 5 over there. Chill. I know you got to get ready. Do your thing. So this is Thursday shows. Y'all know it's only an hour anyway. So we'll catch y'all on Saturday. We'll be back on the panel tomorrow, and you can catch Chill in the PCL for Final Four today. Chill, you on playback later on too?
I am. I will be coming through there to say what's up. Yes, I will be.
Okay. Okay. So y'all tap into playback after that too. Thanks everybody for coming. Chill.
Yep, absolutely, guys. Good to see you. Y'all know where to find us at. We will see you soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. Well, last time you talk to your mother. If you're ever in the Portland area, you had too much to drink, find the big fella. He'll make sure that you get where you need to go. He got you. No doubt about that. We will see you guys soon, but until then, take it light. But take it. Absolutely, man. It's good to see you guys.
All right, y'all. Man, be ready for that PCL Final Four. I'll see you there. Don't be late. You don't want to miss a round. You don't want to miss it. Could be a first-round knockout. I'll see y'all there. In the meantime, make sure y'all drink some water, get cardio, and never, ever, 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 ever drink and drive. Catch you next time, y'all.
Later.